let's make a video. Compressor plugged in, switched on. Air hose hooked up to my tank. There's oil in it. And there's my line out the bottom. This used to be what I ran my atomizer on it. So I got air out the top if I needed it, but it's shut down. When I want to add more oil to it, I dump, and then I take that off, and I put a funnel in it, and I fill her up. And I got power from an extension cord here, a blower here, and then the oil is under pressure. I have on and off. Then this right here is my control, micro adjustment. So on, and she's still shut down, but I can crack it open and fill up my tank. All right, let's get all the crud out the bottom of my tank from my burner. Not much stuff, a little ash, some little pieces of metal. Nothing major. That's from the first burn. Well, the second burn, but the first burn with this setup. Got little pieces of metal all over. With this setup, I can burn rubber, like tires or whatever, but I do have to cut them up so they'll fit in here. But this thing is so hot, when it burns, there's no smoke at all off of it. You just have to get it up to temperature before you put the rubber in there. If you don't, it'll roll black smoke, and that's illegal. All the metal's out. Alright, let's crack it open and put some oil in there. Oh, I gotta turn on my valve. Alright, if you go this way, it dumps. If you go this way, it pressurizes the tank. So, tank's pressurized. The valve is open, and then bottom valve, let's crack it. Oh, there it went. Let's get a little bit of oil in there. That'll probably be enough to start. Just enough to cover the bottom completely. And there it is. Shut her down. Then let's take the torch. I had dirt daubers fill this thing up. The torch itself, so it doesn't work right. I have to turn it on, then I have to use another torch to light it. And it only has a flame because it sucks. You gotta get a different one. Alright, now I take this joker and I gotta heat it for a long time until that thing gets hot enough to burn on its own. It's kind of burning by itself. Not quite hot enough though. Shoot, it went out. Keep on heating it. I need a better torch that's meant to like stand upright. That way I ain't gotta hold this MAPP gas upside down. The reason I'm using MAPP gas instead of propane is because it's what I had. I was making copper roses. MAPP gas gets hotter than propane, and it's just what I had on hand. Let's see if a little air. Let's make sure the damper's closed. Lower low speed. See if a little air will make it burn better. Doesn't look like it. Didn't go out yet. Not yet, not yet. See if it's hot enough now. Not quite. So close. It might keep burning. We'll give it a minute and see. Fire's going through the middle. Turn up there a little. Nope, not yet. Come on now, heat up. Not yet. It's going out. Turn the gas back on. Alright, it's burning on its own. It's still got to heat up. It's a sustainable fire now. Still got to let it heat up for a while. Give it a little air. Fire's maintaining. Alright, give it a little more. Too much. You see the middle? Back it down again, let it get hot. Start over. Alright, let's let that heat up for a minute. Crack open the oil a little bit. Get a little steady feed, that way it don't burn up all my oil and the fire go out. Still maintaining, just holding air a little more. And heat up some more. Oh, too much. See, it's starting to cool down when you see that middle of the oil. It's not a good thing. This thing is so bright that once you look at it for a second, you can't see anything else. The camera here doesn't do it any justice of how this thing really looks. Right now, I'm cracking open this damper a little at a time. Too much that time. Alright, let's open the oil again. Maybe they'll stay hot this go around. Close it just a hair. Get that middle to heat back up. It just takes a little bit of babysitting to get that thing to initially take off, but when it goes, it goes. Alright, let's kick this thing in high gear. Oh, too much. You hear it thumping, it's trying to go out. Shut down that damper a little. it run for a second. Once I get this thing all the way up in high gear, I'm gonna shut her down. I just want to see it run in high gear. That's not even open full port on the oil feed. That's about half port. There ain't no smoke. That's straight oil, like waste oil. Kill valve. Let it die down a little. Let it sit there and burn until all that oil in the bottom's gone. Open it up a little and get that fire to get hot. That oil will be gone in no time. Almost out. Shut her down all the way so it only burns the air that passes the dampers. You see the little flutes, they all blow into the fire. It's got holes all the way around on the outside of that point into that fire. If you look close, it's so much better. See this in person, but if you look close you can kind of see them blowing into the fire. There's one there, one there. There's 8 of them all the way around. See, there's that one. That's about the best one you can see on the camera, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. They're 8 in a circle, then 3 deep. Open it up a little. It's almost out. That oil's about gone. See the cherries in the bottom? That's all the crud that was in that oil. She's out. This valve is off, so it ain't getting the oil feed. turn down my float valve. And she's done. I'll turn off my blower and that fire will probably go right out. It's close. This empty. No more oil. We'll go shut down the compressor. The only thing the compressor does is keeps air on my tank out here. So let's flip that off. And we take air off of the hose. So it's no longer forced that way, and let's dump it. It's almost empty. Yep. Some of the problems I'm facing with this particular setup, not really problems, it's just challenges to overcome. If I put a lid on this, it pushes fire out the bottom through that gap. So I had the idea of making like a smokeless burner, kind of like the fire pit, smokeless fire pit. You could look at other people's YouTube stuff on how to build those or how they work. But building a smokeless fire pit around this, but the same problem, if I put a cap on it, it's going to shoot fire out the holes all the way around the edge. So, there's that. And if I was to put a pot in there, like I got a coffee can in there sitting on top of it right now, just playing around. If I was to put a pot in there to melt metal on it, how would I put it in there without it restricting the fire and blowing it out the bottom also? But that's my setup.